Good morning and welcome to episode 13 of the Blue Fern Yarn podcast. My name is Shannon and I am the face behind Blue Fern Yarns. You can find me on Instagram as Blue Fern Yarns, Ravelry as Blue Fern Yarns, and I have my own website, bluefernyarns.co.uk, where you can find my hand-dyed yarns, higher knitting needles and various handmade notions, and a few project bags. Today is Saturday the 20th of March, which I cannot believe. I'm pretty sure I say this nearly every month at the moment, but this year seems to be flying by, even though in the UK we are still in a lockdown and hoping to see restrictions ease over the next month. So even though we're doing nothing, it just seems to be flying by, and I don't know about you, but it's crazy how quick it's going. I've only got a few things to show you this time because I've kind of been busy behind the scenes. I am planning a very large shop update in mid-April, and I keep looking up there because I have a calendar up on the wall and it's like one of those annual ones, so I'm constantly, and I realise I do it when I'm doing my work meetings as well, constantly looking at the calendar to find out days and things like that. So if I look that way, up in that corner, that's where my calendar is, and if I look that way, that's where my stash is. So, you know, priorities. Anyway, so today I have got a few finished objects. I've got a couple of whips, and I've got one that I want to talk about why I frogged it, but we'll talk about that one in a bit. And yeah, that's pretty much what I've got. Yeah, so I just want to say thank you to all of you who have subscribed recently, all you newbies, thank you, and welcome to the Blue Fern Yarn sort of community. I really appreciate all new people, all comments, and likes of my videos and things like that. It is so rewarding to be able to put some information out there and be able to share my knitting sort of journey, because that's when I started, sort of my podcast is when I started knitting. I have only been knitting, well, for a year now. I can officially say for a year I've been knitting, and I'm really pleased at how far I've come. Yeah, it's great. All of you who are returning visitors, welcome, and welcome back. And thank you for all of your subscribing and your comments and everything like that. It really does mean a lot. Personally, I've had quite a tough week this week. My day job is it's just getting tougher and tougher to do. I don't know if it is just because we're in lockdown still and we're not really doing much. Yeah, it's been a really tough week. There's been a few emotions going on, a few tears, but yeah, you know, you just keep going, and all of your comments and likes and little messages on Instagram or Ravelry and things like that, it's just so lovely, and I really, really do appreciate it, so thank you so much. But yeah, so enough of the waffling. I just wanted to come on here and sort of share what I've been working on. So first up is my little Shorty Socks. So finished objects, obviously, and I'm just going to end up dropping them everywhere. So these are a little pattern that I have come up with, and it is a free pattern on both my website and on my Ravelry. And it was just a bit of fun, really. I was desperate to use, this is my own hand-dyed yarn, and this is called Petals on the Pavement. and I absolutely love it, and I'm so pleased that I did this. And I did on each sock, so this one you've got pink cuff and toe with a purple heel, and then on the other one you've got the opposite, so you've got the purple toe and cuff and the pink heel just there. And it was just a bit of fun, and I absolutely love them. I haven't worn them yet because I wanted to show you guys before I start wearing my socks. So now that I've shown you, I can put them on. Yay! So I'm really happy about that. Yeah, so it's a free pattern. It's just a simple shorty sock, and the pattern is mostly written for DPN users because that is what I use. I have tried Magic Loop, I have tried the higher flyers with they're like DPNs but they bend in the middle. I've tried the 9-inch circular needles. I have tried, is that everything? I think it's everything. Basically, I've tried everything I could think of, and I just find DPNs personally the easiest thing for me. So that is what I use to make my socks. So yay, and it's a free pattern, so head on over and grab yourself a copy. Yeah, and in the pattern as well, it's not been tested, so if you find any areas or you've got any questions, feel free to contact me. And it's not been tested because there are so many shorty socks like this out there, but I find that they're often written for like Magic Loop, and I just wanted to give somebody who may be like me and prefer DPNs, like how I separate it across my needles, a little bit of useful notes and things like that and information, and also I write how much yarn is used for these, so you could get away with like 25 grams of your main colour, and then like if you do the contrast the way I have, you can get away with like 10 grams each, or just a little bit less than 10 grams each for the contrast, the two lots of 10 grams, so about 9 grams I think it was of the pink and the purple. So that this purple is called Blackberry, and that's also one of my colourways which will be coming to the big shop update in April, along with this one which is Rose, and there'll probably be some more of the Petals on the Pavement. But yeah, yeah, just really love those, and I'm so excited to wear them, and especially seeing as it's summer, and I still love wearing socks even in summer. Maybe not on the hottest days, but on the warmer days definitely prefer wearing them. But anyway, one of the things I mentioned on a previous podcast was I was desperate to try the Afterthought heel on socks. And yeah, I only learned to knit socks about 3-4 weeks ago now, and I am hooked. I love them. I can't get enough of them. You'll see this. This episode is probably mostly about socks. Yeah, and I was desperate to try the Afterthought heel because I had heard that it's got a slightly different fit to the heel flap and gusset. Yeah, I just thought that I was desperate to try it. It was something new. It's a new skill that I could learn, and I was like, I want to do it. So I didn't actually want to I didn't want to spend a long time, and it's probably quite selfish of me, but I didn't want to spend a long time knitting a tube, cutting into it and ruining it. I was so scared. But apparently Tom has amazing ideas occasionally. He said, don't people usually make sock tubes that you can sell? I'm sure I've heard you tell me that before. I'm like, great idea. So I was on the hunt, and I found a sock tube from Pixie Yarn, and I'm having a complete blank on her name. No, it's gone. Sorry, I cannot remember your name. I'm very sorry. I will put it on the screen. I'll do that. I'll put it on the screen. So, from Pixie Yarn, and she had a 50-gram sock tube. So what it was is you have a little bit of scrap yarn, a full tube knitted, and then a little bit more scrap yarn at the end. And and it's a 50-gram tube, so it's quite a long tube, which is enough for a pair of socks. And yeah, so she had that for sale, and it was slightly discounted because I think it was her Christmas, it was one of her Christmas colourways. I do stalk her a little bit on Instagram. And yeah, so it's called Candy Cane Lane, and I purchased it at a slight discount, and I put in a cuff, a toe, and some Afterthought heels, which honestly, I'm gonna hold on. It's another sock, but it's wet. It's because it was blocking, so it's gonna have to wait for a moment. But yeah, so I've put the Afterthought heel in, and it's not the neatest. I've done a couple more, and they are getting neater. So it's not the neatest, but I just love it. And for me personally, on my feet, it fits so well, and it fits better for me personally. So I'm probably going to do this on the majority of my socks, just because that's my preference. But yeah, just look at that. It's called Candy Cane Lane, and it came with, now I'm going to sort of jump all over the place here now. It came with a mini skein that was so bright, but I get why, because it is actually in there. So you've got this like bright pink, and it came with this bright pink mini, and it's got some sparkle in it. I don't know if you can just about see some of it. For I think it's Stellina that it's in there, and it's the first time I've ever used yarn that's got a Stellina in it. But yeah, really pleased with that, and it's actually a lot easier than you think. It is super scary. Literally, the first time, like, just to cut off the waste yarn and put the cuff on, like on one end, I was literally sat there. I was like, oh my god, and I was shaking so much, and like, yeah, it was probably scary. I even had to put it down. I was shaking so much. But after I'd done the cuff on, so I had the tube, I did the cuff on both ends, then I cut it in half and put the toe on both ends, and then obviously you cut in to do your Afterthought heel, and I was so proud. But anyway, so it came with that bright mini. But yeah, again, haven't worn them because I've been wanting to show you guys first. So again, another pair of socks that I get to wear, which is super exciting. But the Afterthought heel, I definitely recommend it personally. I enjoy it. It works for me. Yeah, and my mum, she didn't get a shout out in the last episode, so she's going to get a few this one, because she was quite upset. I don't know why, but anyway. So my mum has said that she wants sort of a simple knitting type project thing that she can take to work, just knitting around on her lunch break or something like that. So she has told me she's going to knit some tubes up for me, and then I'm going to turn them into socks, apparently. She told me. She didn't ask, she told me. But again, I don't actually mind, because although you don't knit the whole sock, or I won't knit the whole sock, but I will do the cuffs, heels and toes, I am still super proud of them. Super proud. Love them. I think they're brilliant. And then I have another pair of socks. So you would have just seen it a minute ago. Both finished. These, they are blocking, so they are wet. I've only started blocking them today. So yes, so here is the, in fact, I'm going to put one of them down. Here is the Flight of the Bumblebee socks by Lindsay of Stitch Create Love. And I think I've got that right. So, woo! And honestly, how gorgeous is that? So the yarn used is my own hand-dyed yarn. So this one is Blackberry Roulade, and this one's just Blackberry. And again, how gorgeous is that? I just absolutely love that yarn. Oh, love it. Cannot wait to make more. I am so hooked on making socks. And as you can already see, apparently Bennett's laid on them already. Brilliant. honestly, that cat hair gets everywhere. Anyway, so yeah, so it's such a gorgeous pattern, and it's the first time as well, obviously, because I've only been doing socks for a very little while. See if I can rotate it a little bit so you can actually see the pattern of on the front, on the top. So it's not going to make it look very flattering because of just twisting it on the sock blockers. But can you see that? You can't see too much of the detail, but it's got such a lovely pattern down the front. It's got like little eyelet detail, and you've got like can't even remember the name of it, pearl stitch, where you've got like this little, it looks like a bumblebee really. It's little flying. Let's see if I can go really close. Does that focus? I'm not sure if that's focusing properly. But yeah, it's such a gorgeous detail and I love it. I really do. And the pattern is so well written as well. I think I went on and on about it in the last podcast when I'd only done one. But yeah, definitely it's a really good pattern if you're quite confident in knitting but not so confident on socks maybe. It's definitely a pattern I think you could do. The heel is the German short row heel, which again is the first time that I've ever done that one. And it's not the neatest, it's got quite a few holes in it because I didn't pull as tight as I thought I had. But it's not bad. I think it's not bad for knitting socks in the last 4 weeks. Yeah, I might be biased. I like it. And it's my sock, so yeah, you know. But yeah, so they're all my finished objects. It is literally, I've been working on socks and nothing else. I have got a couple more whips, which are surprisingly socks. So, project bag. This one's my little hand printed project bag with recycled cotton. This is the yarn that I'm using. So this is actually a skein that I had left over from my lockdown Valentine colourway, and how gorgeous is that? Unfortunately, it is not picking up the very slight caramelly undertones that you've got in this one, but it's gorgeous blush pink. And I love this one so much that I might bring it back to the shop. I don't know. I don't know. It's probably going to come back next year at least, because I do love it, and it's called Lockdown Valentine, if I haven't already said. I've done about that much of one sock, and I nearly finished, because I'm going to do the Afterthought heel on the other one. So this is called the Impossible Girl Socks, which is a free pattern on Ravelry. And I'm now blanking on who's done that one. Oh, I'm terrible today. I'm not very good at names or anything like that. So what I've done is I've knitted a tube. I've just put my hand in it just so you can see this gorgeous, gorgeous detail. How lovely is that? I really, really like that. And it's such an easy pattern. So it's a 4-row repeat. And I've just made the tube and I've marked where I'm going to put the heel. Although I think I'm going to move the heel down a little bit because I was going to do like a shorty, not a shorty sock like a proper ankle sock, but a shorter leg. But actually I got a little bit carried away and kept going. So yes. Oh, I wonder if you can see the caramelly undertones here. You can see a little bit maybe. Never mind. But yeah, so I've got a tube. I'm going to put an Afterthought heel into it, and sort of go from there. If you're wondering, the tutorials that I've watched on the Afterthought heels, so I've watched quite a few on YouTube. One of the ones that I watched was Ellie from Craft House Magic. She terrifies me. She did not put a safety line in. She did not do any of that. She literally went cut and done. I was like, no, literally edge of the seat, you're watching. It's like a horror movie. It was so scary. But it looks amazing. So I definitely recommend going to check her channel out if you want to just watch the concept of it without all the safety nets or anything like that. The one that I mainly use to follow is, I can't remember her name, but she's the crazy sock lady, crazy about socks, I can't even remember her name now. I'm thinking it's Crazy Sock Lady. I think that's what her name is on here. I'll link it below so you can go and find the one that I watch, but that's the one that I used, and she says about having three markers in, so I probably shouldn't have put a pink one on a pink sock, but anyway. So I've got 2 at the edge, and then 1 in the middle, all along the same row, and that's basically where I will cut in. But yeah, definitely love these socks. And the yarn for this one is my bamboo base, so it's 80% superwash merino, 20% bamboo, and the texture of it is so soft. It's got like a very, very slight halo. You can just about see it along the top here. So onto another whip. This is a very, very new one. I cast it on not last night, Thursday night, because I was sat there and Tom was moaning that he wanted a pair of socks. He'd already gone and picked out the yarn, so I had it sat in a project bag. So the project bag is this gorgeous little sheep one from Fibre Fox, which her mum does make. I looked it up this time. It's her mum who makes the project bags. Yeah, I love that one. I've got a few from her. Sorry about that. Tom literally has just come home. He went out and he knew I was recording today, but he forgot. So, Anyway, so I was going to show you the socks. So I cast these ones on Thursday evening, and it's only because Tom was moaning that he wanted another pair of socks, and he'd already raided my stash and already decided on the colours that he wanted. So I pulled this one out earlier. So he's got this bright luminous, let's see if that will actually, yeah, it is pretty much true to colour there. It is so bright. So you pick that one, and then we also picked this one, which was in my stash. So this is a skein that went wrong because I put way too much grey in it, and it's a lot darker than it was meant to be. So this is Arctic Storm, and the blue is coming out very blue. It's slightly more minty blue in real life. I'm not sure it's actually focusing properly. Anyway, so yeah, he'd already picked up the colours. He decided that he wanted this one with this one. So not the colours that I would pick, but they're kind of fun to knit with. So anyway, so yeah, this one is Arctic Storm. There are some on my website that are dyed properly. It's a lot more of a paler grey with a slightly paler blue. This one came out very, very dark and bright. It wasn't meant to be that dark. But yeah, so, and I haven't done much, so I don't know how much I'm going to be able to show you. And I'm already tangled. Oh, there we go. So, here we go. It's a little bit stretched because I'm trying to show you what it sort of looks like. So it's doing these gorgeous little micro stripes. And obviously you've got this bright pink cuff. He hasn't got a very long cuff because I get very bored doing the cuff bit. I prefer just the knitting and the pattern rather than the ribbing. But yes, very, very pleased with it so far. And Tom says that he likes it, so you know, that's always a win. Just so you see the other side with all the strands in the way, sorry. Yeah, just so you can see it, it's there. But yeah, so that will be a pair of just plain vanilla socks for him. And drop the project bag, so yeah, I'll just work on those for a while, pick them up every now and again. It's a very easy one to do because I'm just going to do the Afterthought heel, so it will just become a long tube like this one with a cuff and a toe on it, and then I will put the heel in later. And yeah, that's that really. My other whip is one that I have had on the needles for a very, very long time. So I'm just going to show you the project bag. So I love this project bag. It's just a simple white one that I actually bought from HobbyCraft. Just a simple white cotton linen one. Does it have a label? Nope, no label. But what I do is it's got a pocket on the inside, so it's got a big pocket here. But I put all my badges in, and the badges sit sort of on the inside of the pocket, so they don't nick the work. But it's a great way that I can put all my little badges on there and my little, yeah, I really like it. Anyway, so I'll show you a picture of it. So it is the Tresco Jumper by Along Avec Anna. I can't remember her. Well, I'm assuming it's Anna, but I think it's Anna Dervout. I don't know. I'll put it on the screen. But this is the top, and it's got this gorgeous eyelet detail here for the raglan sleeves. And yeah, so that's her top. And my lovely mother very kindly did my sleeves for me. So she's had it for a long time, which is why I've not worked on it. And yes, so here it is in, let me see if I can stand up. There we go. You can just about see it. So I've got 3/4 length sleeves, or I will have when I actually put it on and it's blocked and everything like that. So I've got 3/4 length sleeves, which keep falling. It has got the lovely eyelet detail just there, which I think looks amazing. Let me see if I can put my hand in just so you can see it a bit better. There we go. Yeah. So it's got that. And yeah, so it's got quite far. So what would happen? So this is my own hand-dyed yarn, and it's called Concrete, and it is just a superwash merino nylon mix in DK. And what had happened is I'd cast on and I'd knitted so far on the body, so I had knitted all the way down to about here-ish, and I was really panicked and worried that I was going to run out of yarn, so I wanted to do the sleeves. So I started on the sleeves, and I decided I hated it because I couldn't make magic loop work. And I didn't have small enough cables to make just a circular knitting situation thing. So I pestered my mum, and she very kindly said yes, she would do them for me, and she has, and I'm super happy that she's done them. But since she now knows that I do socks, she's told me she's not doing it again. So I'm going to have to get some DPNs because I prefer knitting with DPNs on smaller circles. Anyway, so she did that for me, and she gave it back to me a couple of weeks ago. Yeah, about a couple of weeks, a week. It must have been a couple of weeks ago. So she gave it back to me. And this was before I'd ever done any helical knitting. And yeah, you can just about see it. It's not that obvious on camera, but basically I didn't know about helical knitting. I knew I had to alternate my skeins, and I just couldn't get it to work properly. So I ended up with these weird, I don't know what they're called, but they're like, I don't know what they're called. 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 They're like, I don't know what they basically some stitches were tighter than others, some were looser than others, and I just couldn't get it to sit properly. In fact, you can see on the inside that it is actually very messy, and it just didn't work. And I tried to do it at the back because, you know, I don't see the back, I don't care. And then when I split for the sleeves, I turned it down to one of the sides. I think it was this side because it's near the beginning around. I didn't like that. So when I got the sleeves, when I got it back and the sleeves were done, I basically ripped all the way back up to where I separated for the sleeves, and since then I have done sort of from here back down to about here. So if I didn't rip it back, it would have been finished by now because of how much I have done. I've done quite a bit, but obviously I ripped it back because I wasn't happy with it. I do kind of wish I could rip back for the back bit as well, but I'm not doing that. I'm not taking the sleeves off to just basically start again. So I'm going to ignore the back, whatever happened. And hopefully it should fit quite nicely when it is finished. It's got a sort of high-low hem. When it's finished it will have a high-low hem. And I think she does it as a bit of a cropped jumper, so she probably finished it just about there or a bit before. I don't really like cropped jumpers. I'm a bit too, what should we say, conscious about my size. I'm sure everybody is nowadays. Lockdown definitely doesn't help with the waistline. But yes, so I have been doing a little bit of knitting on that, so you can see that I only do, well, I say I do a little bit a day, so normally I do about like maybe an inch a day, if that. But obviously on that day I did quite a bit. I like the progress keepers because it shows me how much I do in a day, and I just find that quite rewarding, so then it doesn't feel like I'm just knitting and I'm not achieving anything. Yeah, I'm going to put that in the project bag later. And yeah, that is pretty much what I've been working on. So I've only been working on that jumper, whoa, these socks and the other socks for Tom at the moment, and obviously I finished these other socks last week, so I've done a little bit. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I do want to talk about my V-back tee. So I mentioned it in my last podcast, and basically I said that I wasn't too happy with it. So what I'd done is I'd got the make one left and make one right the wrong way round. So it ended up creating these like little eyelet details, and obviously it wasn't supposed to have eyelet details, and they only happened on a few stitches. It didn't happen on every one. So if it happened on every one and it looked pretty, I probably would have just kept it. I've just gone, okay, mistake made, lesson learned, next time I'll do it better. But because it happened so randomly, I decided I was going to frog it. So I have frogged it, it's all wound up and it's in the bag ready to go. But I am determined to finish that jumper before I do that one. And that's sort of the plan. I wondered whether do you guys have projects that you do that you're not quite happy with? What do you do? Do you just keep going, or do you frog them and start again, or do you frog them and don't do them again? I don't know. I mean, I tend to just keep going because I love the finished object. I love having an end product and just being able to either wear it or whatever. So that's the first jumper that I've actually started making for myself. Obviously I've finished the tee, the laced with stripes before. If you've watched before, you'll see that. Again, not happy with that. I need to sort the sleeves out, and I will do at some point. I've had so many suggestions from you guys, so thank you for that. I just need to stop being angry with the top before I do something, because I will just not do as good of a job as I would like. But yeah, so what do you do? Do you frog it? Do you throw it in the bin? What do you do? I really would love to know what you guys do. Do you just keep going and find a fix later on? Yeah, that would be great. So if you could put your comments in the comment bar below, that would be great. I do love reading all of your comments and seeing what you guys are up to. If you've got any ideas for any pattern suggestions you think would be a great thing to do, I'm very much looking for sort of spring summer tops at the moment. I think I'm a little bit late for spring now because by the time I finished it, it'll probably be summer. But yeah, any suggestions for spring or summer tops, that would be absolutely brilliant. I've had a bit of a look, but I can't really decide on what I want to do. I think the V-back tee is going to be a little bit thicker than I would like for the summer, so I might do that one later in the year. But maybe for autumn, ready for autumn, that'd be quite nice, wouldn't it? But yeah, we'll see. So that's pretty much all I've got to say. I really wanted to show you guys the spring seasonal boxes. They went out beginning of this week, last week, and I really wanted to show you the colours that came out of it. So when I do my seasonal boxes, you get 6 mini skeins, either 10 gram or 20 gram, and they're all unique colourways that are not going to be released for at least six months, usually about 12 months, because I don't redo them until the following year. But they are unique colourways and they are ones that no one else will have, and I really enjoyed dyeing up the spring set, and I'm so looking forward to the summer set because I've already got a plan on those ones. But I wanted to show you guys what they looked like, so I even kept a set aside for myself, just because how much I loved them. And sort of, let's see if I can put them in some form of fade order, because they do sort of create a fade a little bit anyway. And here they all are. I haven't named them all. Sometimes I name them all individually, but sometimes I just leave them as a bit of a fade. But just how gorgeous. So you've got like a gorgeous soft purple. It's a bit of a tonal purple. A lovely pink, and if you know me and follow me, I love speckles, so it's got these gorgeous, there we go, it's got the subtle, very subtle speckles on there. Just absolutely love those. And then you've got this peachy pink tone, which I absolutely love. I think I would like a top on that. Anyway, watch this space, might dye that up and do that next year. You've got this lovely lemon, soft pale lemon with gorgeous purple subtle speckles as well. They're so, I just love a speckle. And obviously, because I love a speckle, you've got the yellows and the pinks and the purples in that one, and then you've got the tonal pink and purple all in this one as well. But yeah, I just absolutely loved them. Yes, loved them. And I will be releasing the pre-order for the summer yarn boxes on the 29th of March. So that'll be Monday the 29th of March, the summer seasonal boxes. I was going to say spring seasonal, but summer seasonal boxes, which will go live. And there's a little, not a sneak peek because you're not going to see anything, but a little idea. Think ice cream. So excited. I can't wait. I cannot wait. I've already had a go at some of the dyes, written out some of the ideas that I want, and yeah, I cannot wait. So please do join me on that one. That will be a lot of fun to make. And I need to double check with my friend Hannah to see if she would like to do the project bags that go with it as well. But there will probably be the option that you can add a project bag. Again, these are unique project bags that are made specifically for the seasonal boxes. So watch this space. And yeah, that is everything now. Thank you very much if you stayed all the way to the end. I really do appreciate all of you subscribing, following, watching and joining in this little community that we've got. Yeah, and that is pretty much it. I did mention that I've got a very large shop update happening mid-April, which I will give a little bit more information about on my next podcast. Yeah, that I've got a week off work. I've got a week off work between, well, basically after the Easter bank holiday, and I can't wait. Fingers crossed it's nice weather, because that will depend on how much yarn gets dried, and then photographed and then put on the site ready for you guys. But yeah, it's going to be a massive stock update, and I cannot wait. It's going to be a lot of fun. There are a lot of plans for Blue Fern Yarns this year, a couple of collaborations with different people, and maybe a virtual yarn show as well, or two. So yeah, just be great to see you, or if you could join in or just say hello, a little comment or something like that, that would be fab. But yeah, anyway, that's everything. I hope you're safe and you're well, and hopefully see you again soon. Bye.